Hey guys, welcome to a kind of off the cuff, not too expected live stream. It is the 29th, it's Tuesday, so not a day we normally do a live stream, but we got a lot of stuff in. We finally got in our vacuum sealers, the Walton's vacuum bags. We've got tenderizers. We have all sorts of amazing things. Was trying to do it yesterday, but with it being Monday and wanting to test everything, not play with, but test, we decided that we would just hold off to today. So we learned some really good stuff yesterday. Most of it we'd already tested prototypes of to the point where there were no big surprises, but we did learn a couple of things that should help both your enjoyment of the products, us sell it, and support of it. So we are really excited. Thanks for joining us. As you can see, over on the right side of both waltonsinc.com/live, and if you're watching on Meatgistics, there is a giveaway for this. Make sure you go ahead and enter that. Don't know how long we're going to go today, probably around an hour. We'll pull a couple of winners, and I've got some ideas of what we're going to give away. One thing I can tell you for sure that we will not be giving away is this chambered vacuum sealer. So we may, however, be giving it away on Thursday. So Thursday is going to be our start of the month live stream for July. Generally, we do a live stream at the beginning of each month. We use that to close out the previous month's sales and giveaway, introduce the new sales, the new giveaway, and we draw a winner live for that past month's winner. We have a little bit of a weird opportunity this time, though. So this vac sealer, this is the chambered machine. We were sent a prototype of this. That's what I've been using here for the last 4 months or so, maybe even longer. I have no idea how this year has been going. I'm shocked that it's July already, basically. But if I can talk Austin into it, I'm going to take this one, the new one, and we will give away that one that I've been using for months. It's a great vacuum sealer, works awesome, never had a single problem with it. This one, however, has a couple features that I want. So whoever wins it could win a chambered vacuum sealer, which is amazing, but you're not going to get all the bells and whistles. It'll be missing a couple of things. We'll go over what those are. However, the Walton's 12-inch chamberless vac sealer, this is basically the exact same as what we were sent, which is awesome because I really like what we were sent. We'll go over what I like about that in a little bit, but it means that I have this one and I don't really have a use for it. So this I am going to give away today. So this is a 12-inch vac sealer. It does an amazingly good job, incredibly quick at sealing. One of the things I really like about it is it puts a nice thick seal down. A lot of the chamberless vac sealers, my big complaint with them is they seal the bag, but it's only, just a little bit. If at some point we'll get a punch in on the camera and I'll show you how thick of a seal this thing puts down. Does an awesome job. So make sure that you enter that. It's waltonsinc.com/live, or go to Meatgistics, and at the top page there, or top of the page there, there's a link or an icon for live streams. Click that. You should be able to enter that at either one of those. There we go. So this is, I wish Austin was here. He will be here for Thursday's live stream, but this is the culmination of a lot of work on our part. And if I'm being completely honest, probably more work on Austin's part than my part, but still, I did a lot of testing and playing around with the equipment to make sure that it was worthy of bringing in.
You're a professional tester. I want to jump in here, but yeah.
In my expert opinion,
Yeah.
I get to say that now.
Yeah. Oh, totally. We get to become an expert at all this stuff before we tell people what exactly is awesome about it and why they should buy it. So.
Yeah. I mean, it would not be good if we were telling you to buy things that we had not used extensively ourselves. So, as you can see, I've got 2 different tenderizers here. I've got this tenderizer that attaches to the front of one of the Walton's processing grinders. The grinder then spins the blades, and all you have to do is drop the meat down through that chute. This is the standalone unit, and we've got both the standalone unit that just comes with the handle, and then we also have this motor, which turns this into an automatic tenderizer.
Well, we got some good footage of them yesterday or the day before, maybe.
Yep.
Do you want to see kind of how fast, so people can kind of
we might as well go ahead and do that now.
Gist of it, yeah. So I'll just go over the features, and I'll just start playing this video over here.
So right now, all we have is the tenderizing blades for this. I'm not sure if we're going to bring in the jerky blades. I think we will, but that might be a little bit down the road. So, which one are you showing first, Patrick? The black one?
Yeah, there was side by side. Now we're showing the white one.
Okay. So, the white one is a good unit. This motor is powerful enough to run it. Definitely want to make sure that you're not putting too many pieces down. As you can see, he's putting 2 down there. No problem whatsoever. It'll chug through 2. But you don't want to do 3 or 4 with this unit. Another thing you can kind of see is the more you push down there, the more pieces you put down at the same time, kind of the bigger holes it's punching in it. When I'm putting a single piece down, the black unit, it is just tenderizing. It's not punching holes all the way through. The more pieces you put down in there, the greater the damage will be to the meat. I use the word damage, but it's not, it's not damage. This is what we're wanting it to do. Had you asked me a couple of months ago, I would have said that the standalone unit with your handle is fine. Then we started adding this to part of our process for making the Walton's Bold and Tender Jerky. And now I 100% see the need for the one that attaches to the grinder. I probably will use that every time going forward. It spins those blades so ridiculously fast with so much power. Last night, so we did this yesterday. Last night I was just about to fall asleep and I was thinking of that unit, and I was thinking about, like, it would tear your whole arm. And I mean, you do not want your fingers anywhere near that. And I could almost like feel it pinch my finger, and I felt like a physical sensation. I shot bolt upright in bed.
And we wonder why you can't get great sleep.
Yes, I'm worried about meat processing equipment coming to get me. But no, absolutely awesome. This thing did a stellar job. Hopefully here somewhat shortly in the next 6-ish months, we can get some jerky blades for it for people who want to cut them up into slices for jerky. Personally, that's not part of my process for jerky. It's not how I'd recommend you do it. The tenderizing blades, and leave them in the oval or round shapes. They sit better on your screens that way, and it's just easier to manage. When you're doing denuded eye of the rounds or something, you've got, big 3 by 4 inch piece of meat. Laying that out on the screen, a single piece, is a lot easier than laying out 6 or however many that would get cut up into. So my recommendation is to go ahead and make them jerky as the big pieces and then cut them up into little bits later if you want. All right, I'm going to quickly look at chat just to see if there's anything.
They said they might have had a problem with YouTube. I think it's working now.
Okay.
It works on my phone, but there's only like 3 people over there, but might as well head on over to waltonsinc.com/live to get the full experience.
Yeah, make sure, because without Meatgistics or waltonsinc.com/live, you won't be able to enter the giveaway. Now, something's interesting's happening. I don't normally monitor the live stream on Meatgistics, but the giveaway is like down underneath the chat for some reason.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, whatever.
Is it usually off to the side?
It's usually off to the side, so if you're on Meatgistics, just scroll down past the chat. But speaking of chat...
I was talking with Rachel the other day, and I was just like, we did notice it was at the bottom. I was like, I wonder if there's a spot for it at the top right, not only on the cell phone view, but just going forward on the
I vaguely remember you guys talking about that. In fact, I think you tried to tell me about it.
Maybe. Who
But
knows?
I was thinking of
Well,
something else at the time.
that goes along with the FAQ page we want to do and all that jazz.
Yeah, I
so.
can only handle one thing at a time.
Yeah,
Not too
it's
many
so-
thoughts.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It doesn't work for it. Yep. So these bags will work perfectly for sous vide. I assume you were talking about these, which are for the chamberless bags. Walton's technically has a couple of different bags, but these are our first chamberless bags. We've always had chambered bags in large quantities, like 1,000, 2,000 count, but we also do now have a good number of 100 count on, or like a good sampling of sizes, 6x12s, 8x10s, things like that in 100 count, because more and more home processors or just home guys are getting chambered machines. There's a good reason for that. So
I was just about to ask you this.
didn't bring it over, but I did the math on my little rocket book somewhere. So don't hold me exactly to this, but it's going to be pretty close. The vacuum sealer is right now around 1,000. The Pro 12-inch is around 4. So that's a $600 difference. A 1,000 8x10 bags for this machine is going to cost you about $59. 1,000 8x10s for this machine is going to cost you $280, somewhere in that range. So depending on how often you seal, you can make up your differences really quick. Plus, the chambered machine is going to last longer. It's also going to put a little bit better of a seal on the bag. It's got some more features, and it's going to last longer. Everybody is at this point, but this does have a guard against the biggest problem with chamberless sealers, and that is what happens when moisture, liquid, anything gets sucked up into this little mini chamber in here. Well, eventually it's going to work its way down into the innards, and water and electronics obviously aren't great. This has these two little knobs. I don't know if they're going to be able to see this, but that felt good.
That didn't hurt, right?
It's got two little knobs up here, and it actually sucks out the air on the bottom of those, but it's lifted up, so it keeps it away from liquid. But even with that, even if you never got liquid down there, these units just, by their very nature, don't tend to last as long as these chambered machines. They last for forever. The reason the bags are so much less expensive for this is that they are smooth. There's no texture to these because it doesn't need it. What this is doing is it's pumping all of the air out of this entire chamber. Then it's sealing the bag and reintroducing air to it. So it sucks down and perfect seal. For the chamberless bags, it needs a texture on one side at least of the bag. What that does is it gives the air something to pull kind of against. Without that, the bag would just suck close at the very beginning, and you'd still have air back there, but there would be no way for the suction to get past that initial portion of the bag. So having that texture allows it to get all of the air out of the bag. Obviously, these are more expensive to manufacture, so they're more expensive to buy. Oh, excuse me. All right. We also have these.
Those feel so much better made than the last ones we had.
It always is weird what I get excited about here. Like a couple years ago, and we've talked about this a lot, I know.
Yeah.
We got the Mini and Maxi Longo Pack trash system. And all it really is a loop on a stand with a continuous vac bag. Or, no, I'm sorry, not vac bag. Trash bag.
Yep.
So you can make trash bags as long, or so as big or as little as you want. And I loved that idea. Absolutely loved it. We talked about it here way too much for about a year. Just one of those things that was so simple but so useful, and ended up obviously selling a ton of them because when you have a good product and you have people excited about it, that
We
helps.
use it every day. Every day. Yeah.
Absolutely every day. I really do love that thing. This is one of those items. So it's very similar to the hog ring pliers that you're used to seeing, but it has these great grips that are just nice and comfortable, way easier to hold, way easier to get a good grip on as you're crimping your bags, your fibrous casings, anything down. Especially when I'm doing summer sausage, my hands are usually either wet or in gloves or something, and it makes it harder. These grips, super easy to grab. They're really comfortable, and it does a perfect job. We tested those a lot when we first got them, making sure that they worked with other hog rings, making sure that they got small enough to close any type of bag, and we absolutely love this thing.
Nice.
So we bought a bunch of them.
Now, I often see red associated with a lot of meat processing equipment. Is that the standard?
I think that's mostly like ground beef bags tend to be that red checkered pattern. And like
but even aprons sometimes are red, right?
The meat trays, those are usually all red. So yeah.
What's the obvious there that like blood
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so it doesn't look as
And beef is just a real red meat.
Sure.
So yeah, I would imagine that's it.
Always a question I've had.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I was looking at that, I was like, let's just get that in orange.
All right, David Crockett asks, are there any advantages or disadvantages to the widest bag size on the regular unit versus the max pouch size of the chambered unit? The only disadvantage to using the widest on either one of these is going to be you're paying for it. Larger bags cost more money. So the smaller bag you can get, the better it generally is for your pocketbook. As far as what it's going to do with this unit, it's not going to change really anything. The amount of product you put in here can increase or decrease the amount of time that it takes to pull a chain or pull a vac on. The fuller this is with product, the quicker it will be able to pump all the air out, obviously. But size of bag doesn't really come into that too much. On this one, you may be looking at a couple of seconds at most, but that does an incredibly fast job at vac sealing. Like, really, really surprisingly quick. I'm very happy with that unit. I was happy with the prototype, and I'm very happy with how it came out. It does need, just like any of these types of units would, it needs 20 seconds in between seals. That is to allow the seal bar to cool down. If you keep just sealing things, you're going to eventually damage your heating element and your seal bar. So just make sure you're giving it 20 seconds in between. That's generally not that big a deal because it's going to take you longer than 20 seconds as you're packaging the next thing, pulling your next vacuum. But with that, you definitely could, if you had a bunch of things pre-prepared, that pulls a vac quick enough where you would kind of have to slow yourself down. With this, you're not going to worry about that because it's going to take a set amount of time, and that is long enough to let the seal bar cool down. But B, we're just not, this is the seal bar in here. So we're not too worried about overheating that. Now, some of the features that we weren't expecting on this because they weren't on the prototype. This has a bowled bottom. The one that we got initially was a flat bottom. This bowls down a good inch, maybe an inch and a half. So you've got some extra depth here. You can do more, a turkey might be tough, but you could absolutely do chickens, any type of game bird you could get in here. With the dome on the bottom, I don't even know if you'd call that a dome, with the slope on the bottom and the dome on the top, you're all good to go on any type of game bird, duck, anything like that. So that was awesome. That was a good surprise. But this is another one of those super simple things that I think you'll probably end up seeing more and more of. At the front of this unit, on the front side of the seal bar, there's this little metal pop-up thing, and it's really just two pieces of metal that are kind of crimped together. And that's to hold your seal or your bag in. So you hold it over the seal bar and then you pull it in between these two pieces of metal. For people who've done a lot of chambered sealing, you'll notice that occasionally as the vac is getting pulled, as there's less air in here, the bag is going to inflate because the air is being pulled out. So as it inflates, sometimes it gets pulled off your seal bar. And then that's it. You got to start over. This prevents that from happening. A really, really simple way to fix a problem that I haven't seen other people do it, but it's also not a problem that happens all the time, but still definitely worth it. And then this also has a marinate mode. Final answer. You can set it from 9 to 99 minutes in sequences of 9. So you can go 9, 18, 27, 36 minutes, all the way up to 99 minutes. So you can put a product in here in whatever marinade, cure, anything you want, pull a vac, and it'll stay under vacuum in the marinade for up to 99 minutes. So great way to speed up marinating of chicken, steak, beef, anything like that. And if you're doing something that's cured, also going to help that cure get in there quicker. So that is a great little feature. Very, very happy with that. And it's got a little bit of a smoother finish on the top than the prototype unit did. I really am starting to become very fond of this. I'm going to want to end up taking it home, but I probably have enough meat processing equipment there. My wife might get jealous. Could chambered pouches effectively be reused as a slightly smaller pouch? Yeah, absolutely. So if you have we have some that are like 18 by 26. If you wanted to make two 18 by 13 bags, you just cut it, use the seal feature of your bar on one side, and then you'd have two 18 by 13 bags that are sealed on three sides. I think that's what you're asking. Did this container have the suction feet? Not the same manufacturer. They were on the invoice, but they did not make it. Now, we have other, the suction cup feet were on the invoice. We have other containers on their way to us from that manufacturer, so hopefully they will be on one of those, because once we get those, I'm sure a bunch of people, they're not going to be very expensive, and it's super convenient. I absolutely love the suction cup feet. John Morensky says, chamber is the way to go. Yep. Yes. So that is one thing to consider. This is fairly heavy. I got this one up here, no problem by myself. But it takes up a decent amount of space. This can live either on a countertop or in a cabinet. Very, very mobile. You saw I picked that other one up with one hand because I'm so big and strong. So it is something to keep in mind. But I do overall feel that the increased quality of the seal, the less expensiveness of the bags, and the expected life cycle of the unit really do make the chambered vac sealers the way to go. But either way is a good thing. So Kurt asks, what's the widest that your chamber will vac seal? This will do 10 by 15 bags. That will do a 12-inch bag and as long as you want. I wonder what would happen. Maybe we need to try that one day. Take a whole, I don't want to waste a whole 50-foot roll. Ooh, I found an old 8 by 50-foot roll from a vendor we don't use anymore that they sent us as a sample. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll see what happens if we put a product all the way at the end of 50 feet and see if we can get it to pull the whole thing. That's a lot of pressure. I certainly wouldn't recommend you try it at home, but that might be worth trying and seeing.
Maybe we start at 10 feet instead of 50.
Yeah, that's probably better.
10, and then you could do 20. No.
Well, no. We start at 50, and then if it doesn't work,
Oh, you keep
we chop it
short.
down.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what we do.
So we don't waste it.
Are the chamber vacuum pouches more heavy duty than the regular vac bags? That's another good question. They are both 3 mil thickness, so they're the same heavy dutiness. Now, in the chambered style, the smooth style, we do also sell a 4 mil and a 5 mil vac bag. If you're doing something like jerky or anything with like sharp edges, you definitely want a thicker bag. Jerky, even the bold tender, not how we do the bold tender jerky now, but even how we used to do the Walton's bold tender jerky, vacuum sealing it would occasionally it only takes the tiniest little bit to pierce those bags, like a little hard edge. So occasionally we had those issues, but we don't anymore with how we're doing the tender jerky. Speaking of the tender jerky, we are going to draw a winner. So this winner is going to get tender jerky and a seasoning your choice. We'll be in touch with you tomorrow about that. I will go ahead and draw 2 winners, and then we will get to the chamberless machine. All right, 2 winners, jerky. We have Edward Madia and Jeff Bergfeld. Edward, I'm pretty sure you're Ted. I think, at least. I believe you've won before. And
all these repeat winners.
Jerry Bergfeld. Just let us know you're here. And then other John will be in touch with you tomorrow, get shipping information. So congratulations. Gary Ty says, I'll never go back to a non-chambered vac sealer now that I have a chambered. It is a better overall experience. You get a better seal. I mean, the real problem is the initial investment. But like I said, depending on how often you seal, you can make up that initial investment within the first year if you seal a lot. We would never recommend that a commercial processor use a chamberless machine unless for very specific, very small R&D type purposes. Anything production-wise needs to be a chambered machine. Another thing to take into consideration, I mean, you really wouldn't be using this at home, but if you did, we also sell the custom print vacuum bags. We have a whole process where we can print out logos, anything you want, on the chambered vacuum bags. We also have the safety handling instructions that we have printed on the bag. So not all of them come with either one of those. Both of those are special things. Corey says, don't be a quitter. Keep collecting processing equipment. All right. Sorry, honey, have to. Somebody on the internet told me.
You got plenty. I've seen your counters. You can fit that.
You think we got room?
You got room. Your basement bar. Put it right there on that countertop. Boom.
Yeah, that would work. See, here's the problem, though. I'm so spoiled with having both this kitchen and the test kitchen.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That,
well, you live so close.
And I live 2 miles away from here. So
you just come up here.
I've got a vac sealer at my house, but if I have like a bunch of stuff I want to vacuum seal,
no.
We've got, in the test kitchen, we've got a...
Oh, yeah.
It's got heating elements, seal bars on both sides. So the chamber comes up. It's totally flat chamber. On both sides, they got to be almost 20-inch long seal bars. So you can do 4 bags at a time.
It's so quick.
You're done in minutes. It's worth the drive down
It's
here.
kind of fun to operate, too.
It is.
I mean, for someone who doesn't use it all day, it's not bad for 20, 30 minutes.
So much of this equipment really is fun to operate.
Yeah.
Because it's fairly easy, and it's like, I used to love mowing my lawn. Like, it's something easy you can do that makes a big, like, obvious, immediate impact.
Yeah.
Jeremy, absolutely. That's why I need 5 acres. God, I want 5 acres.
What about 4?
Corey says, Corey's the one who told me I could do whatever I wanted at my house. That's what you said. Says he's not a divorce lawyer, though. Jim Smola says, can you vacuum seal a bag on the outside of the chambered machine if it's bigger than the chamber. I saw a video of one chambered machine doing something like that. So if there's a way, here's why I know there's a way, because on the double seal bar machine in our test kitchen, I was using bags that were too long, so they're hanging out over the seal bar. I cut a hole, just took a knife and poked a hole on the opposite side of the seal bar, but still inside the machine.
And that would that have pulled the vac?
Yeah. I mean, that's the advantage of having this right here. This might get loud for a few seconds, guys.
Oh, we're fine. I can monitor your volume.
All right. I got to get a big...
Did you poke a hole in it?
Bag? I might not have bigger bags in here.
We're right in front of you.
Hold on. All right. So if I hang it up and over, I got to punch a hole.
Yeah, you got knives.
Get my special knife. Poke a hole.
He wouldn't know it's his unless it has his name on it. It's like, and...
Poke 2 holes in there.
Oh, boy. His finger placement makes me
All
real
right,
nervous.
so I've got holes in there. They are on the far side of the seal bar. The opening of the bag is going to hang outside the unit.
Yep.
All right, let's see how this works.
I wonder if we could see him operate it. No, he's going to block the display. That's not too loud. Will you let it get all the way up to 30?
No,
No, you're just going to pull it.
just enough till it's...
You sound real heavy duty stuff going on. Sounds like a Sam's Club in here.
It worked.
Nice.
So, yep, we've got a seal, nice seal on there. The only question is, like, what would be the purpose of doing that?
To show that it's making an actual proper seal and stuff.
Right, but like if you were to say you're using a bag that was too long,
Yeah. Could you do the opposite is what you're saying?
well, it wouldn't. You could just cut the bag
Yeah.
so that it fits in there. Now,
Yeah.
if for some reason you needed to have a bunch of space on the opposite side,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can definitely do it. A little bit more interesting of a question, not interesting. Another question would be, what happens if we use a bag that's too wide? That would not work.
Yeah.
Bag that's too wide would not work. So yeah.
if you had a bag with any size hole in it, would it pull
What do you mean any size hole? You mean
like a real small hole that you wouldn't even recognize that's on the inside of the chamber? Would it pull a vacuum at all?
It depends if it's on this side, the back side, or the front side of the seal bar. If it's on the front side of the seal bar,
Well, if it's on the back,
then
side.
no. Then yes. If it's on,
Like it's in the chamber.
if it's in the chamber portion, no, that's going
It
to screw
just
everything
wouldn't
up.
even.
Yep. No, it would. And
It would almost
within
create
a couple of minutes, or maybe even a couple of,
It would loosen up. It would
Couple
create
of
like
seconds,
like
you'd
a
lose your
false
seal.
Yeah. So
first of all, I'm never doing another live stream or podcast with my shoes on. This is awesome. I took my shoes
glorious.
off.
Yeah.
Feels great. What about if you had a long fish and you wanted to seal the whole fish? So this is max depth of, I think, 15 inches. So you would need a longer seal bar or a longer chamber. They do sell.
Well, that's when you use the chamberless.
Yep, you could do that for sure.
Yep.
They also do sell pro. Why can't I think of the main?
Well, regardless of title, what is it exactly?
It is a vacuum bag or a vacuum machine that's specifically designed for like salmon, really long fish.
Yeah.
It's like almost 3-sided.
Fish though, I'd be
I'll
worried
find it
about,
on waltonzinc.com and put.
I'd be worried about a fish puncturing the bag for sure. What do you do in the event of a puncture? Do you just double bag or
So you use a 4 ml bag, a 5 ml bag,
just
or
up the thickness? Yeah.
they sell something called bone guards. So if you have something that has
That's right. Yeah.
bones in it, you can put that in there around.
The particular areas and stuff.
Yep. Where are
Yeah, if you plan on using a lot of fish, specifically long stuff, and you're like in between these two units, oddly enough, it's probably the cheaper one might actually do it for you. Because, just as far as the space and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely could. But it is the ProMarks, which is the name I couldn't think of, ProMarks TC350 FLR. So it's got seal bars on the left, right, and the front side. So 3 seal bars, and definitely a piece of a commercial equipment. I'm going to post a link to it in the chat. But, you're looking at a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
I was talking about using a chamber vac, like a non-chambered vac, with non-chambered bags with the item you were sealing outside the front of the vac.
That's what I thought.
Gotcha. I totally misread what you were talking about.
Yeah. So if it wouldn't pull a vacuum, it would seal it. Your contents on the outside.
Okay, but your contents on the outside. This is a chamber.
Yeah. Oh, I get
So it could potentially.
Well, pull it the other way. Open up a bag.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Put the spout of it in there.
Let me reread his comment though, because the way I'm thinking it right now, it has to be a non-chambered bag, because otherwise,
then it wouldn't pull a vacuum.
It's gonna start. The air is gonna get sucked out of like this portion. It'll close like
and then
that.
That little part,
and nothing can get. No air will be able to be drawn
because
past
of
that.
the
That's
seal.
The reason for the texture.
Yeah.
All right, we'll try that.
Yeah, might as well. A little fun.
That makes more sense as a question too.
Well, yeah, I was like, why are we poking holes and then putting on the outside? But then again, it's a very particular question.
Yeah, but a cool one.
Get his bag all ready.
Well, I'm just opening up a bag. So I've got a bunch of rags in here. I was just testing different functions on it. So we'll use the old magic eraser again, and here we go.
The anticipation.
It doesn't appear to be doing anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine it would. Okay,
it almost looks like it wants to do something, but it's not doing it. I don't know. It might be really slowly doing it.
Well, the vac it did pull.
It didn't do it.
Yeah, virtually
Didn't
nothing there.
So nope. Answer to that is no. But that was a good question.
Nice experiment.
I'm sure Brett or Dylan or Austin is
man.
watching this,
They're going,
just
you idiot.
going nuts. Going, of course that won't work.
Yeah, it's got to pull a vacuum. That's what the point of the
to us simpletons, you never know until you try.
Well, you never know. We might either save that guy from buying one of those, or maybe he's firmly on the chamberless now. So.
Nick Hall says, Austin said he wouldn't print anything that he had to approve. So that's not true that you print anything. Fair enough, Nick. That was specifically said with you in mind.
I wonder what he would have printed.
Oh, yeah. Neil says we did crab legs, put paper towels between them and the bag. That absolutely works. Another good tip is if you're doing something, well, 2 good tips. If you're doing something with the non-chambered machine, take a paper towel and fill your chamber with it. That way, because if you do something with liquid in these machines, liquid is going to get sucked up into that little mini chamber. Maybe we should stop calling them chamberless and start calling them mini chambers.
That's kind of a cool one.
That's kind of better, isn't it?
Yeah, the chamberless thing is almost hard to wrap your head around initially until you see that that has a chamber. But
okay. But anyways, put paper towels in there. That'll catch any liquid that comes up into it. Another thing is absolutely you want to, anytime you have a wet product, you want to use a longer vac bag and put it all the way down near the end. That way, the liquid, as you can see the liquid getting sucked up, you can hit the seal bar and it'll seal before it gets there. Patrick, can you punch in on this real quick?
We can see if we can try.
Okay, so this is one of the things I really like about this machine is it's got a really thick seal bar for a chamberless or mini chamber machine. Most of them are about half that thick, so that's a really nice security thing to have. You're not going to lose any type of seal on something like this. Excuse me. Another thing I really like, and we can go back to normal. Did you go back to normal? Okay. Another thing I really like about this is it's got a start button and a seal button on the handle itself.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't even need to take your hand off the handle. You just hit start. Oh, it's not plugged
Yeah, all
in.
your leverage will go from there, yep.
Yep, you just hit start, and then if you're doing something that has water in it, as soon as you see that moisture starting to travel up too close to here, you can hit that seal, and it'll seal it. Now, this is powered by a little battery in the back here, so you do need to get, I think they're AAA batteries, but that is another absolutely awesome feature on this.
It's like super satisfying too to like you're about to vacuum, so you push all your weight down on that handle because you know something didn't go right during the whole processing.
Now you don't need to push down on the hand. I mean,
No, you don't have to go full force, but it is a nice little.
you do want to initially push it down to help it form that seal, but as soon as it
you don't have
gets
to
that seal,
you don't have to hold it, huh?
no, you just let it go.
great.
Yeah, it'll automatically do it. You're probably used to seeing me hold it down because one of the old models from one
okay.
of our old vendors, the specific one we had, something would happen and it would just occasionally come up. So
Yeah,
it would
unhinge.
always hold it down to be sure. But
So what piece of equipment are you most excited about that's on the table in front of you? Like one you might get most use out of even. Probably
that'll be the vac
that.
sealer.
I mean, for sure, but
Yeah.
Do we make a good amount of jerky? That tenderizer might come in handy too. The attachment one.
Yeah, we've got some. We've got a bunch of events coming up. We've got our steak cook-off association in August.
Yep.
Then we've got Zubilee in July. We've got
That's not July, is it?
September.
Yeah.
I think we have something in July for some reason.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You and me are traveling soon.
AMP.
Amp.
There you go.
2 weekends.
2
3
weekends from now. Yep.
3 weeks. Something
So we're making a ton of jerky. So yes, that is
Yeah, you could probably
going to
fly
come
through that
really
stuff.
in hand. Come in handy.
What would your other process be besides using that up there to tenderize it?
this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow.
So before I did any tenderizing, I used to just go from slicing right to marinating. But I definitely do feel like using the tenderizer helps. It definitely does.
sure.
It just lets it all the solution. And with the Walton's Bold Tender Jerky specifically is where I think this is necessary. It helps that solution, that sugar, penetrate the meat more fully. I still leave it in the vacuum sealer or vacuum tumbler overnight. Come back the next day, tumble it again,
Yeah.
just to get everything broken up and anything that leached out of the meat reabsorbed up, and then it goes right into the smoker.
Especially for how thick we're cutting that jerky nowadays. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's good. So that's like a Salisbury steak patty every time you bring me a new piece of tender jerky.
Okay, so Nick Hall says he's very interested in the new scale. So this scale weighs up to 600 pounds. It has a mountable or wherever you want to put this little readout. It can stand up on its own. It's got this little stand on the back. It's also got holes to be mounted on a wall. It can be operated by either batteries or there is an AC adapter that comes with it. This scale, probably its best feature is that it has two modes. It's got a precision mode and it's got non-precision mode, or whatever you want to call that. The precision mode is going to weigh things in the 1/10 of a pound up to 150 kilograms. So if you are weighing out really small batches, a couple of pounds, use the precision mode. If you're doing anything else, use the regular mode. My problem with the old Weston one is it was just not accurate at low weights, like not even in the ballpark. I'd put a couple pounds on sometimes and it wouldn't move. This does a way better job than that. Now, not that often was I weighing out 2 pounds of meat, but I mean, that is a nice thing that this can do. Also, the fact that it can weigh up to 600 pounds is nice. I don't know exactly what you're going to be weighing. That's 600 pounds. But it has that. Also has a pieces function, so you can weigh out, basically tell it how much you think a piece weighs, and then put some weight on there, and it'll tell you how many pieces you have. That's more of a commercial function, and this is not a commercial scale, so I don't think people will be getting a ton of use out of that. Weighs in pounds and fraction of pounds, or pounds and ounces, and weighs in kilograms. So,
I found interesting about that scale is that it only works with the feet screwed on. So if you get in, it's not working.
It's a fair point. So it's got these feet on the bottom that are sort of self-leveling. They've got some give to them, each one, and that's by design. You can see what they screw into because they'll come without the feet screwed on. Those have movement to them intentionally to help it kind of on not perfectly smooth or level surfaces. But yeah, all around for the price, being able to measure up to 600 pounds, it's awesome. Weight capacity is perfect for the ex-wife.
Oh, Jesus.
Who do you think that is?
I don't even want to guess.
God, Ryan, I wish I was weighing gold bars. I wish, man. David Crux says maybe will not seal because the lid is not really sealed with the bag hanging out. No, I think it's sealed. No, is that the bag?
Yeah, it is.
It's sealed. It just didn't pull a vacuum. So how this machine works is as you close this, it seals everywhere around by pulling a vacuum. So that must have been the problem. This has sealed out here. Like this pushes down hard enough where it's creating a seal, so nothing can come through it. So even the air trying to pull through the bag isn't going to work. That is what it is. Yep, that makes sense. Yep, Gary says one of the best advantages, if not the, is being able to seal liquids without worrying about ruining your chambered machine.
Oh yeah, that's got to be huge.
Yep.
Any kind of small restaurant or food truck, even. I mean, this would come in handy.
500-pound tuna. I think they usually have those hook, like tail scales.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. If you're regularly catching 500-pound tuna, I hope you're selling them to a
Subway, so that they can actually use real tuna in their sandwiches.
So for those of you who don't know, there was recently a study done. They bought a Subway sandwich and found 0 tuna DNA.
Yeah. Listen to it on a podcast in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
We
talked about it. And a bunch of other things on that one got weird.
I like that one. That was cool.
I liked it too, but
weird, but we like to keep it in the realm of meat processing.
So Gary, the tenderizer, if you have a Walton's processing grinder, which are these silver ones, I highly recommend this. If not, this does a good job with the motor or with the handle. The only thing with the motor is, you don't want to put probably more than 2 pieces of meat down there at the same time. Technically, you really just want to do 1. The reason for that is the blades interlock, but they go in between. They don't rub up against each other on the other side. The more meat you push in there at a time, the further into those blades that meat is going to get pushed. So instead of just kind of cubing it and tenderizing it, you're going to poke holes in it. So a single piece down the middle is the best way to go, but who's got time for that when you're doing 25-pound batches? I tend to grab them at least 2 at a time.
Yeah, it's weird. You'd assume the more you put in there, the less that, like, poking at it can do. But then we put a couple in there that's a test. It looked like Freddy Krueger it came across and literally clawed all straight down through the meat. So
yeah, it was meat mesh.
It really was. It was hard to. I mean, like you said, the less you put in there, the better full tenderization it got. It's odd.
When I first took this job, I had seen a video of this Japanese sushi chef guy. He made mesh from carrot. Like it looked literally like fencing. And I watched how he did it, and I tried to do it like 1,000. No, that's an exaggeration. I tried to do it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Could never make it. Now, with some better knife skills, maybe I'll give that another shot. Okay. Real quick, Lazur, Subway's chicken strip meat is less than 50% chicken also. Soy protein makes up the majority of the
They don't
rest.
even give you a foot-long sub anymore. It's like 10 inches, and it's over $11. So it's just like, you know what? Let's boycott Subway. Here we
Yeah,
go.
soy's in everything, man.
Yeah, can't get away from it.
Oh, okay. Seasoning weighing okay on the new scale. Depends on... Really, no. I wouldn't recommend that. No. If you're weighing out seasoning, the precision scale... This thing is worth its weight in gold, especially if you're doing smaller batches.
And those are real decent prices, too.
Yeah, they're not bad. I think it's like 30,
Yeah, you could
34 or something like
you
that.
get all your scale needs. And these
Fractions of the gram, weighs at really, really small quantities. In fact, there's a cure accelerator called sodium erythorbate that I never used to tell retail customers to use because 7/8 of an ounce does 100 pounds of meat. So 7/8 of an ounce is enough to accelerate the cure in 100 pounds of meat. With this, you could do a 5-pound batch.
That sounds absurd.
It
the
is.
fact that it even touch that much meat.
Now, you have to recognize that it's not by itself it's doing basically nothing.
Yeah.
It's when it interacts with the cure, that's when it's becoming effective. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, still, it seems ridiculous that 7/8 of an
Or
ounce.
it's just,
of
you mix that
anything-
in and it's just like, well, that handful seems pretty sweet, but how does it spread to everywhere else?
That's why anytime you're using sodium erythorbate, you absolutely want to add it to your water.
Okay.
That's going to help
There
you
go.
get the best spread. That's the wrong word. Distribution.
Emulsification.
Distribution.
I love our ability to try out new words on a daily basis around the office.
Completely separate chat over on YouTube.
Yeah, I did notice that earlier, I thought.
What?
Yeah, like on YouTube, it's a separate chat, I believe.
How is that happening?
I don't know. I was going to bring it to your attention later.
We should be seeing the chat.
From /live, right?
Uh-huh.
No, we're seeing its own...
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Technology is weird. I mean, just the fact that we can do these
Oh, yeah.
is ridiculous. Whole thing is absolutely
I mean,
nuts.
if it continues like this, not a big deal. I'll just monitor YouTube and you monitor the other one. But I would like to know why it's doing that.
Doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
All
well.
right,
Maybe on the back end for us.
let's draw a winner for
Definitely.
the prototype vacuum sealer. And then Thursday, we, depending on what Austin wants or doesn't want to do, we might give away the prototype, and then I will get this new one.
So, just real quick, John Belvedere has been asking how hard is it to clean the tenderizer?
So,
I mean, could you unassemble it real quick?
Sure.
Or is that too...
No.
Yeah, so you guys can actually see what's going on.
Combs come out.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. These little combs, those are the things that...
So, yeah, without those, your meat is going to go down.
With no resistance,
you.
right?
Top comes off. There's 2 little screws down there if you want to take this off.
Then those combs thread in there, right? Yeah.
And then these come out. Now, if you have the motor attached to this, you do have to take the motor off of these screws back here to release this one of the blades. So a little bit more in depth takes a little bit more time if you have the this attached. But I mean, that's it. If you don't have the motor attached, you're done. Take these out, clean them, wash everything down, and you're good to go. Cleaning on these really isn't anything hard. But if you don't have the combs, and I found this out the hard way a couple years ago, your meat is just going to go down here and then back up around because these are moving down. They both move towards the center. They're just going to keep
Just
spinning your meat around. It'll never shoot out the bottom. I mean, not never. Eventually it will, but
yeah,
that was a good question. Are there any other ones I missed?
Those combs are all of the importance. Not that I could
Okay.
see, so you might as well just pull
Draw
a winner.
winner.
Oh, and by the way, can you provide a link for a small precision scale, please?
Sure. All right. It has the winner, but I'm on the page for the Scally Precision. Get that.
Get that
All right,
hyperlink
there's the
going.
link for that, and the winner was and there you are gonna have to be here, David W. Keene.
I'll check YouTube. You can check ours. I'm still fascinated at that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something different for that.
I assume it was a restream. Hello.
No, because I take the chat code directly from YouTube and put it on waltonsinc.com. So it bypasses all of that.
Interesting.
How is that possible?
Well, I just don't know. Well, then where's the chat populating on Meatgistics from? It's on people that are on Meatgistics slash.
What do you, no, all of that, all of the chats that we see
Yeah.
should be coming directly from YouTube. Is there more showing up on ours than there is?
Yes, definitely.
So YouTube does not have as much.
No, so on waltonsinc.com/live, I feel like you could comment there and see it, and Rumble, those two are going to /live, whereas YouTube was only YouTube specific. That's how I see
It was
it.
only showing up on YouTube.
Yeah, that's how I'm seeing it, unless I'm wrong.
We'll do
But-
some testing.
Yeah,
We'll come up with something because obviously if we're going to make people
yeah, we want all you guys to
be
be able
here
to.
to win, we've got to have a way to make sure we're
And,
monitoring.
yeah, and I want everybody
Or-
to read their own stuff.
Or we just say only place you can watch it to enter and to
Ooh.
win is waltonsinc.com/live.
That might be the way to go.
That might be
anyways.
the way to go. I don't know.
Anyways, we'll figure it out, guys. Sorry about that. Link didn't show on YouTube because he's not commenting on YouTube.
Wow, that was fast.
Go to waltons.com.
He immediately responded. Congratulations, David. That's an awesome little prototype you got. We'll get in touch with you tomorrow. We'll work out how, we'll ship it to you, obviously. But congratulations. So Ryan says, why don't you just stop using YouTube? Because we will at some point be doing pretty much just Rumble to Walton's to Meatgistics. But we did spend the last 6 years-ish building up an audience on YouTube, and it is a really effective way of letting people know that we've either released new videos or have gone live. So, it's hard to just say we're not going to use it at all anymore. But the video that you watch for these comes from Rumble, and we just go right to Walton's Inc. and Meatgistics. But we still do also push to YouTube to help alert anyone who isn't on Meatgistics or doesn't get emails from us. I assume the people who are always here both are on our email list and have Meatgistics accounts, but who knows? I talked to a guy the other day on Meatgistics who made his first comment. It was a good comment, so I looked it up. He had been with us since like 2000 and he'd been with us like 4 years. And he's like, no, I just been a lurker for a long time, never commented before. So people do all sorts of weird stuff. I don't know. Yeah, and see, and that's another thing. Randy says, like, YouTube works better for some people, for sure. Yeah, seems to be. All right. So the entire Vaxhealer is cut off of my screen. Oh, this thing on the side. Yeah. Watch it. I don't know. But it's not all that great on the website either because it's cutting off half the screen. That's two people who are saying that now. I don't know. I wonder if they're watching on a phone?
No, I'm watching on a phone. What they're saying, fast
Yeah, I for sure, it's definitely scary, but I just always go back to the fact that 30 years ago, somebody would have thought we were a wizard for having this. I mean, it is amazing what we're able to do with all this. Oh, yeah, no, they're right, Patrick. Oh, I just always go back to the fact that I have no idea. That's super interesting. I do know what it is. For some reason, it's not seeing this device as a cell phone, so it's displaying like it would on a laptop. It's seeing your phone as a phone. It's seeing this phone as a desktop.
Oh, well, they can move the screen over. You can zoom out.
Yeah, but
Oh, come on, guys. Don't.
yeah, he is right. You can just, because my phone did it too. It auto populates to chat, like it auto fills to chat, and then you should be able to zoom out. Hey, don't make fun of us. Don't make fun of us. We're not. We're not all tech wizards. Yeah, we're not all tech wizards. But you should be able to just zoom out, and that should show you everything. All right, but we will be back Thursday. Austin will be here. We'll have our monthly giveaway. We'll draw winners. We may possibly be giving away the old prototype of this, and hopefully we can answer some more questions. Okay, other people figured it out on the phone. Flyboy no more. Thanks for joining us, and